Hi folks, how's it going? 2 days, 2 nights, 3 days on Saturday this weekend. Only takes me about, I do apologise for the wind, it takes me about half hour or so to get here, and I kid you not, the snow was coming down, the skies darkened over and everything else, and now you wouldn't even think we were at a different location. Apparently where I am, checking the weather forecast, they've got a rating, a weather rating of amber snow hitting this area where I'm going, which is probably the equivalent to if you was in Canada or something like that, probably the equivalent to sprinkling some wood dust on the back of a mouse's back. So what I'm kind of thinking, right, is I've got a fallen tree here, okay, so if I block up the hole that's under there, and I've got a hazel tree and also the root system off that, where's that, oak, to sort of tarp off. I think that might work, and then obviously I can still have a fire because it's obviously there's a lot of dirt here. There's not a lot of pine needles or anything like that, even under the yew tree. And obviously there's a lot of hazel in that here as well, so it's a bit different to the other spot that I normally go to when I go with Barney and John and Chris. So yeah, this is the reason why I wanted to sort of come here. And not only that, it's a little bit more sheltered, I think, you know, with all the hazel and that's around. It's quite loaded up. Helikon Tex pack, and I've also bought the little pack because some people are asking for feedback on that. Field test it, eh? Oh, I reckon it ain't too sad after all. The wind is blowing around a bit at the moment. It's supposed to calm down a bit, but yeah. So my bed set up then, ground sheet, bivvy bag as well, Fellraven bivvy bag. I've got a Rab sleeping bag and just a jacket rolled up for a pillow. Didn't bring my pillow with me this time. Stupid really, because it's only about that big. It's not like it takes up a lot of space. And I've got my Swazi for later when it starts getting cold. I've got a nice book to read. If you don't know this author, Calvin Rostrom, I do apologise for the video. Yeah, Calvin Rostrom. I was actually gifted this book by TJ in the Wild on Instagram, and he sent me this book, and I think it's like the first edition. It's The New Way of the Wilderness, and you know, I really can't wait to get into it. So I'm going to have a little gander at that tonight while I'm chilling out in bed. Yeah. Better get the fire on, eh? Get a brew on. I found a tiniest bit of char cloth in that bag. Oh. It's actually quite damp, some of this wood. Now I need to sort out that bag tinder. Yeah. Place. Now I'm content to get a brew on. It's starting to grey over a bit. Smoke it. It is actually surprising how sheltered I am here. I'm sort of like under the arbor if you like, of the tree as well, under the branches. And obviously that ground's quite dry anyway. But sweet really. I'm quite pleased with it so far. This little location, you know. Location. Just getting smoked out by the fire now. So, you've got to ask yourself, it's my Clint Eastwood impression, should you have one or not? A Guinness, that is. So I'm going to enjoy a Guinness. So, well, you got to ask yourself, do you feel lucky? punk. You know who that was? Clint Eastwood. Chef's rights. Well, folks, got up just before 6 because the old body needed turfing out, as it does, so I'm man down till that happens. Didn't sleep too bad last night, I suppose. A bit broken, I suppose, but not bad. It was, I think they'd forecast it something like -3, -4, and I think they got it wrong because it's chilly, but it's, there's not a lot of frost about out there. There's nothing touching the leaves or anything like that. So obviously, first thing before I get anything done here is to have a brew and a blunt of smoke, and then get on with the day, I suppose. So I've only had 1 cup of coffee. Yeah, look how crafty I've got before. It's not even set, it's only 7:24 and I'm on it. Use my toggle system, I've got char cloth on the go. Built a simple little little pot hanger using my toggle to obviously suspend the bottle over the fire, and now I'm having my second coffee. I need a hero. That song was written for me, I think. Do you feel lucky, punk? I'm going to try and master his accent. Well, I can do his accent, I suppose. Hi, I'm Clint Eastwood. You might have seen me in films like Heartbreak Ridge, Dirty Harry, and Winnie the Pooh Goes Camping. So it appears that the smoke has now stopped coming out of the vents, which obviously tells me it's done. So I can now take that off the fire, place it over there like this, and then let it suffocate and cool down. That'll do, won't it? Hopefully we should have a nice bit of char cloth in there. do these Jenga fires, it sort of gives it a nice bit of airflow. So I've pre-made some bannock bread. Bought a lot of dry food out of me this weekend. Because water's at a premium, I'm just going to get rid of some of that flour, stop it sticking in the bag, and I'm just going to cook it on a stick. Simple as, I suppose. Use me sheet of leather. So I've got a nice dry turd shaped sausage bannock, and I'm going to cook that on a stick over the ember, well, over the flames, embers, whatever. It's still flaming at the moment, the fire. Probably a bit of shit timing on my behalf. Ta-da! So I'll stick that over the flames. And the fire is flaming a bit at the moment, so I'm going to keep that bread a bit off, so I don't burn it. I want it to cook, you know, reasonably slowly, because I want the middle of it to be cooked as well, otherwise it gets a bit stodgy, if you know what I'm talking about. So here's an ever so quick tip for you. If you find that the flame, if you've got something on there and maybe your fork's a little bit too low, one thing that you can do really is just put another piece of wood under there and then put it up there, and then it just gains it that bit more height over the flame, believe it or not. Right, let's check our char cloth. Oh wow, that's still a bit, even though it lost the smoke, it's still a bit, needs a bit more char in there really. I'm not going to bother, I can still use it because it's obviously still charred on some parts of it, but obviously a couple of bits of it didn't really cop it, but you know, it will still work, that's for sure. Just get a ferro rod on it. Get smoked out at the moment. So it still works. Sweet. Know where that's going, don't you? Straight back in here. Now the sheer simplicity of woodcraft and bushcraft, whatever, however you want to label it. Now I had my stick with the bannock on it sitting on those forks. Then what I've done was I got that piece of chestnut, it's got a curve in it, an arch, and it brought it down a little bit lower. So what I've done now, I've rested the stick on there against the fork stick, and that bannock is cooking really well. You know, it's just a nice gentle heat. So I'm going to be eating that shortly. Well, here's the acid test, eh? Ooh. Got a nice case on it, it's not overburnt, it's steaming on the inside, look at that. What does that remind you of? Right, yeah, good in the middle. Now I've noticed, when you watch anyone on a video, television, cookery programs, chefs, whenever they cook something, there's not one of them out there that's honest and says, oh no, it's disgusting, and spits it out. I'm afraid I'm going to have to be the same one. I'm saying it really is nice. Could do with some butter, maybe some honey or maple syrup, but oh yeah, that is, you know, the middle of that's really that's cooked really well. Well impressed. Oh, got a lovely crust on the outside there. back and see you. It's like I say, innit? It's the sheer simplicity, you know. I've had to change over to my other cup now because obviously it's got a bail arm on it and it's just easier to hang over the fire with a toggle system. It almost looks like a crane, doesn't it? And then just sort of tie it off at the top there. But that's the beauty of it, you know, the beauty of what we, you know, what you enjoy doing in the woods, I suppose. I went for a bimble, sort of just round the outskirts of where I'm camping, and got a load of birch bark, top up the old tin pouch, and I found a bit of bracket fungus as well. I like looking at, you know, like trees when they've been down a while. You often, obviously, when they're starting to rot, you know, you sometimes might be lucky and get some fungi growing off it, and I found this. So. I'm not sure what it is. It's a false bracket or so. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I'm going to see if I can char it so I can get the whole lot in there with the lid. We'll see how we get on with that. Going away from camp, and I did notice that it is slightly chilly. It is obviously a bit more chilly out there, like I'm indoors. But yeah, it's certainly a hell of a lot more chillier. And obviously it is by the fire. Talk about state the obvious. But anyway, be interested to see how that comes out. Should work, I would have thought, because it's quite, you know, it's organic, isn't it? There was a lot of moisture coming out of it, and now there's smoke coming out through the holes in the lid. So. Now, if you're in maybe an emergency situation or something like that, and you haven't got a cup or anything, you've got a piece of foil on you. Sometimes it gets a little bit underrated, foil, because I think maybe just because people are a little bit silly when it comes to recycling it and getting rid of it, especially if they're camping and stuff like that. But I've got in one of my simples list, I've got a quick video showing you how to make one of these. And the great thing about it is that obviously you can fill it up with water and stick it on the fire. That bracket fungus should have cooled down by now, so let's have a look then. Ooh, that looks quite promising, doesn't it? Let's just do a little bit. The old fell rod on there. Oh wow, yeah! It's smoked out. Oh wow. God blimey. That works alright, doesn't it? It takes stock. Let's do that. Well, stick that in the old tinder box, I think. It would be suffice to say now that the old tinder bag's a bit stocked up again. That's the result. I'm not about that elegant stuff, I'm more about just practicality. I just, you know, it's what it is with me. So I'll rub it down when I get home. That'll be another spoon. That's out of spalted birch. I literally, when I was chopping some up earlier, I just looked at it and thought, oh, that might make a nice little spoon, you know, as you do. So I thought, why not, eh? Oh, that's certainly nice and cold. Cheers, folks. Certainly a nice snack. White Steak Detective. It's the chilli one. Keep them shooting. Lasting barrels chilli. Biltong. Absolutely gorgeous. Go check them out. I'll put a link in the description. Goes great with a beer. Yeah, very nice. Not too overpowering either. Well, it depends how much you get into the video, but I've been reading this book, The New Way of the Wilderness, and I was just scanning through the back of it last night, and in there it's got an illustration of an aluminium foil frying pan. So I thought, well, I've got some foil with me, I thought I'll give it a go. Now, the stick that I selected was a piece of hazel green, and what happened was I was laying down and the stem was actually a lot longer and I broke it. So what I've done is I've put a wedge in there just to sort of pull the forks apart. See if I can get it in there a bit more without sort of splitting it. Hazel's quite forgiving. I could go and cut another fork, but we'll see how it goes. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap some foil around it. I probably need to double it over, just get a length off it. Fold it over. And see how we get on with that as a frying pan. I mean, will it work? I suppose so. How thick does it need to be? Who knows? Never done it before. I've seen it sort of, you know, written about or something in other books. So we'll give it a go later, shall we? Pretty sturdy. I think I might do my my chorizo on that later. I will report back later, eh? That gnarly beech tree. See where that branch has come down there. Wow. Probably come down in the winds that we had. I want it to be under that. Oh yeah, I had a phone call from Chris, Wilderness Nomad. He's coming down. I don't think he's staying out, he's just coming down, take his dog for a walk, and we're going to have a gas and a catch up. So yeah, so I'm walking down to the track to sort of meet him on the way in. It never ceases to amaze me that one of these cups holds a can of beer. It really amazes me. Just come up with his dog Bear, which is over there somewhere, having a little run around. He's only 9 months old, looks massive, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a good boy.
So yeah, we're just having a catch up. He's not staying out tonight because he's a bit of a wuss, like, you know what I mean? He's an ex-sapper, he's got to go home. So for tonight I've got a fire pot meal, which is vegan orzo bolognese, but I'm also going to add some chorizo to it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook the chorizo on the aluminium fry pan, and obviously the fire pot, that just needs water. So quite excited about using this actually. Easily pleased. It's all gone a bit Pete Tong. Yeah, get it. So I had to put that bit there to stop it from rolling. It's kind of a space age meets Woodcraft, isn't it? With the old tinfoil. I'll tell you what, I have my doubts about this, but it's actually working quite well. It really is. Quite impressed actually. Alright, the water's in now, I've got to leave that for 15 minutes and then I'm going to add the chorizo. Mate, I'll tell you what, I'm utterly amazed how well that turned out. I really am impressed. I've got to try one just to make sure it's right. Well, that cooked really well. I really had my doubts about that. And the bestest thing of all is I've got no washing up. That's pucker, isn't it? I find it a bit weird sometimes when people say, you know, oh yeah, you know, they see snowdrops, it's the first sign of spring. It's not entirely true. To me, it's when I see daffodils. When I see daffodils, that's when I know spring's on its way. Wood anemone and stuff like that. There's loads of it over there, look. The old snowdrops, bloody daffodils. Food's cooking now, so I'm just letting it stew away in the pouch, so I can come away for a quick bimble. That one's for Isaac, my mate, little Isaac out in the States, and have a little bimble around now, see what I can find. So, quick quiz. What tree is this? I know what it is, but do you know what it is? I'm sure there's many of you intelligent folk out there that know. There's the leaves, as close up as I can get detail wise. There's the bark. I'll give you a clue, it used to be called ironwood. Get some of them David Attenborough. Get the sun coming through and the bark splitting off the branches. I'm making an assumption now that that's badger scat, and that's the only bit I've found. Now, while I'm just waiting for my food, I've only got a couple of minutes and then I can eat it because I'm quite peckish now. That pack, that little satchel, well, it's not a satchel, is it? It's just a pack. It's brilliant, I love it. Really good bit of kit, it's a nice size and I can get just enough in now. I'm not going to do a load out or anything like that. It is what it is. I've literally, most of the stuff that I've been using today is in there, apart from a few bits in the main sack. But other than that, it's brilliant. I really am impressed with it, loving it, really going well. So I'll give it, for now, I'll give it a thumbs up. I don't think it will go down. You know, it's a lovely little pack. They're really pleased with it. All right, for all those folks that are interested. I've added some chorizo in there as well. That's really nice on its own. You can hear the tawny owls. They've been going since about 10 o'clock this morning. Is that a usual thing that normally happens? Because I've, you know. Anyway, let me eat this. Now I know I've added some chorizo to this, but this is, out of all these fire pot meals that I've had, I'm going to say that this is my favourite, and I was very reluctant. Especially that it's a vegan Aluminium meal. No offence to vegans, but that is really nice, I've got to admit. That was absolutely gorgeous. I really did like that, considering it's, you know, vegan. It's really nice. I was well impressed with that. Oh, no end. Even though I could have eaten that without the chorizo now, but it just sort of added a little bit more calorific value, I suppose, on top of what's already contained in the pouch. Yeah, brilliant. Really did like that. That definitely gets my thumbs up, that one. Very good. I'm not affiliated with them or anything like that. Definitely recommend that. Wonderful. Isn't that gorgeous? Alright folks, I've just realised that the SD card is running out of memory now, so there it is. Alright, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like, share with your worst enemies. Alright, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care folks, laters.